Alright, guys. Hold on, I gotta take this call. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of filming a review right now, so what do you want?
What's your favorite Scream movie?
My favorite Scream movie? Oh boy, it's actually quite an easy answer. I'd probably have to say the original, mainly because it's clever and it kind of reinvented the genre, and the other two films basically just got lucky with the addition of Wes Craven coming back to them.
What about Scream 4?
Scream 4? Who the fuck would watch that film? I mean, it's a sequel to an already established trilogy. They didn't need to make that film. It's stupid. And are you kidding? There's a 4 instead of the A in Scream, so it's like Scriform or something. It's really stupid.
Why don't you give it a watch then?
Watch it. I don't have it on Blu-ray, man. Like, I can't watch it.
Check your door.
Like, door. Bye? What does he want? Huh. I guess this is assigned to review Scream 4. I hope you enjoyed that kind of shitty intro I put together. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I hope the end result is good. Anyways, just before I get into this review, if you hear any sounds and wondering what it is, if that's whining, so my little kitten right here, he's just came home with me a couple days ago, so still getting used to the place. Don't mind the whining if there is any in this video. Alright, so Scream 4 is directed by Wes Craven and sees the return of writer Kevin Williamson after departing from the franchise during the production of Scream 3. He left due to other writing conflicts and such, and he came back and actually wrote Scream 4, like, whatever, 10 years later. It was awesome. And this movie stars Neve Campbell, Emma Roberts, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, and Rory Culkin. It is a great list of actors. It's pretty solid, and this film takes place 10 years after the events of Scream 3, following Sydney's return to Woodsboro as she is on her book tour, but as things take a dark turn for the worse, she is met face to face once again with the Ghostface Killer. Now, once again, this film is nowhere near as good as it should have been, as with most of the Scream sequels. I mean, I don't believe anybody was clamoring for this film, and if you look at it, it's a sequel to an already established trilogy. And I believe, like, with the intro I put together, I kind of thought that was the opinion of the general public when this movie came out. Of course, I was too young to see it and buy into the hype, but I'm just assuming that that's what it was. I mean, this movie came out, what, like, 11 years later? Like, I don't mean to put this movie down, but it was kind of destined to fail. It had the fucking letter in the title. Those movies never work out, but this movie did, and I believe it is due to this movie being blessed with a collaboration of Craven and Williamson again, who put together the first two films, which are just excellent. But this sequel, I mean, this sequel comes close to being just as good as the original, especially upon first viewing. It's excellently crafted, especially like the opening 10 minutes, of course. This movie has the kind of iconic Scream opening. If you've ever seen a Scream movie, you know that the opening 10 minutes are something to see. It's excellently crafted. It's funny, hysterical, and scary all at the same time. And this one is kind of clever. It takes place, I don't mean to spoil it, but it's a movie within a movie within a movie. And it sets up the plot thread that this movie is most going to toy with, and that is of reboots and remakes. And it was kind of a great way to introduce that kind of concept. And this movie is a soft reboot of sorts. I mean, it has similar characters and deaths, but I look at it as the mirrored reflection. I don't know if this is an actual term, but if it is, I kind of coined it myself. It's very similar to The Force Awakens. If you remember that, most people's big complaints about that movie was it was way too similar to the original trilogy, particularly A New Hope. And if you look at both films on the surface, they appear the same, but upon closer examination, you'll see many differences within the film's kind of layers. And though it is a lot more apparent between the contrast of Scream and Scream 4 than it is Star Wars, but you kind of get the idea. Of course, I totally disagree with a lot of people's complaints about The Force Awakens, but that is a different video for a different time. So if you guys couldn't tell, this was my second viewing of the film, and I went into it with higher expectations, as when I finished the film the first time, I felt really satisfied. I loved the film. But this time around, when the credits started rolling, I did get a sense of relief as all the characters got a proper send-off, but I noticed that my love for the film did fade a tad. And I believe that is mainly due to me knowing the plot twist this time around, so I was kind of able to examine it and see the setup for it. And overall, I don't believe it was executed very well. There are many gaping plot holes you'll notice, and of course, though I won't spoil the plot twist, you'll really pick it up upon your second viewing. These story problems may have been due to Aaron Kruger's revises to the script. If you don't know who he is the writer behind Scream 3, but nonetheless, these are like really incoherent problems that should have been noted and fixed by the filmmakers. But other than that, this film is a lot of fun. It was great seeing all the actors back in action one more time, and the newcomers worked just as well, particularly Rory Culkin, who I thought gave the best performance out of the fresh faces. And yeah, this film's jokes do work. They poke a lot of fun at not only horror remakes, but just reboots in general, and this film is packed with enough movie references to make a film geek like myself just get all giddy with excitement. So this film released in 2011, and that was at the time where there were lots of horror remakes coming out, and not only them, but just horror movies in general. They featured a lot of gore, and though Scream has always had a lot of blood, what the later 2000 horror movies did was have a lot of stupid action and gore that just wasn't scary. And this film features a lot of over-the-top action that was a minor setback for me. Overall, this is a really good final outing for the Scream franchise, and it marked the final film to be directed by Wes Craven. And I hope that there's no more Scream movies. Of course, you never know in Hollywood. And even though there is the Scream TV series, which I'm interested in checking out, I hope this series lives on to be Wes Craven's legacy. It is really something to see. And in my opinion, Scream is one of the top horror movie franchises ever. It managed to maintain its quality throughout the sequels, of course, apart from the third one, but that one's even manageable. It's still a pretty good film. All these, like I said, they maintain its quality. You get to see something unprecedented with the kind of returning cast of characters surviving throughout the films. You get to learn their personalities and their quirks. It was really cool. You don't see a lot of main protagonists survive past a second horror movie sequel. And yeah, the amount of innovation brought forth by these movies is again something to see. It later affected other horror movies to release, and it's amazing. And even though this final film isn't the most technically sound, it is a much better step up from the third film and comes close to being just as good as the original. And with that being said, Scream 4 gets a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my series review of Scream. I had fun putting this together and rewatching all these great horror movie films. I love horror movies, if you can't tell. It's one of my favorite genres, and it's great watching a series that is actually good. If you enjoyed this video, please smack that like button as always, share it to your friends, and subscribe for more videos. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and you know what that means. My last Christmas review will be up, so check that out tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow. Whatever. Peace.